Hey you! Welcome to another speed paint of a character by a player. I'm never gonna get a handle on the intro to this. I'm Jenny, I'm the Dungeon Master for High Hopes Low Rolls, and this week I'm joined by Jazz, who plays Torlin.
Hello!
And she's drawing Torlin in this video.
I am indeed, and I don't know what you're talking about, Jenny. That was a very accurate intro because I am indeed a player drawing a character.
Good. I'm glad that you agree.
Yeah.
So Torlin is just a little ray of sunshine. What a sweet little bean she is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a little ray of sausages, which would also be very accurate.
Also accurate, yeah. So looking at what you've got here, there's a couple of things that I would say about Torlin's design that really stand out to me. The first one being is that she has like a massive 80s hair.
Yeah.
Like, it seems to get bigger in every picture of her I see. Like,
yeah, I really like that. I mean, it was so when I designed her, I was like, she's gonna have like the biggest blondest hair. It's just like a big old poodle hair. And then when Alex like made that actual design of her, he just went full on 80s with it, and I absolutely love what he did, and it's just perfect.
I mean, she got the big poofy hair, but also she's got the hairband and the like the arm warmers and like the bright colours. Yeah, she really goes for it. It's great. I love it.
It's just, it brings me so much happiness. Like it's really nice to draw her because the colours are so nice and bright, and she's just really soft. And it was something that Alex said actually before. It might have been in one of his live streams actually, where he was like, oh, it's always really nice to draw Torlin because she's just so happy and soft, and like that's just so true. Like that's how I feel about her.
100%. Well, that's how we all feel about her. She's so bright all of the time. She's just the best.
I love her.
So she's a bard.
Mm-hmm.
She's a dwarven bard.
Yeah.
And she's got a lute here.
Yeah.
But I seem to remember that she has a couple of other weird instruments that she has.
Oh,
well, I mean, I say weird for her, like on her list, right? Like the didgeridoo.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
Which is not inherently weird, except for the fact that I don't know where she would have picked up a didgeridoo from.
I mean that, and also where does she store it? She's so small.
Yeah.
I really don't know where. I think I was just, when I was making the character, I was like, I can have more than one instrument that I'm proficient in. What's the most, like, the wackiest one? Because I just want her to be super wacky, and so didgeridoo.
Super off the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, in that context, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. All within context, it does. Yeah.
So you drew her lute here, and you've given it a like a moon on the top
yeah,
of
the
it?
crescent moon.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Yeah, so...
Or is it just because it's cool?
It is also very cool. I didn't want it to be like just a boring plain lute, but yeah, the story behind this one is that it was from her like love, her flame. Yeah. It was given to her by this person. She actually ends up with a new lute at some point that another player gives her, which is her sort of druidy, more natural lute, and that one's really cool. I'd love to design that at some point. But I remember the way Katie described the new lute as being very sort of raw woods and things like that, like unpolished, and I was like, that sounds amazing. But yeah, this one was given to her by someone very close to her at the start of before the campaign started.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, sort of speaking of before the campaign started, I don't know how much of Torlin's backstory we want to touch on, because we probably going to talk about that in the episodes, right? But like, I don't know if it's going to come up very much, but she has like 1,000 sisters.
Yeah, I think I've written it down as 19, so that
she
there's
has.
20
She would
altogether.
be the 20th. Then. Yeah.
I don't actually know if I said like where she lies in that, like whether she's like youngest or oldest or somewhere in the middle. I cannot remember.
Do they all have names? Have you written them all names?
Do you know what? Somewhere there is a document on my old ancient brick laptop. I'll have to dig it up, but I definitely made all the names up. A lot of them were starting with N's. That's as much as I can remember.
Can you imagine, like, even not necessarily being the youngest of 20, but just being one of 20?
Yeah.
That's so many people.
I mean, yeah, like, Christmas would be insane. I can't imagine having to buy presents for that many people. Or cooking for that many people. My lord. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you think that's sort of a part of why Torlin is as bright as she is? Because she had to like shine super hard to get through all of that, all of her sisters, because they're all girls, right? They got 19 sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it was kind of like how a lot of them were kind of soldiers in a way. Like they had their own like little band. They all protected the home place. And she didn't really quite fit into that. She was more the person who would inspire them and rile them up and get them motivated. And so that's kind of where the whole bard thing comes in.
Yeah, her sisters are members of the Silver Hammer, right? Which is so Torlin is from the region of Viridia, which Cadan is the world, Viridia is the continent, and then we have the Silver Homelands, which is where Torlin's from. The Silver Homelands includes the mountain range Dinkum Sigil, of which Visanil here is the capital, where Torlin is actually from. But the Silver Homelands is also a lot of space outside of the mountains, so for example, Rundar, which is where Gimgar is from, where you met Paddy, that's in the Silver Homelands. And then there's a couple of human cities and human settlements there as well. Yeah. So it's not all dwarves. But the Silver Hammer, is the... I think of them a little bit as primarily dwarven, like they are primarily guardians of Visanul here, which is the peak of the mountain, but they do a bit of both. Yeah, it's mostly dwarves that have been brought up there. I can imagine it's quite an honour to be one of the dwarves that grows up in Visanul here. Why did I name it that? I can barely say it. And for your child to be like, okay, I'm gonna go and become part of the Silver Hammer is like a big thing. So it is primarily dwarves, but I can imagine they're not opposed to having other races. If they want to come and protect the Silver Homeland, they're more than welcome to. I think that Visanul here, like the city, because obviously it's been carved out from the inside of the mountain. Yeah, it's super cool. I imagine that it's actually, because like if you think of Tolkien dwarves, for example, and like we see the inside of Erebor in The Hobbit, and in order to show wealth and power and what master craftsmen the dwarves are, Erebor is like really, really big. Like the halls of Erebor are huge, so like elves and stuff have no problem walking through them. But I feel like Visanul here isn't like that. It's like custom fit to dwarves, so it's actually quite small. And that's why you don't get many other, like, you get like gnomes and smaller races in there, but not very many humans. You wouldn't have like tieflings and dragonborns, because they probably find it quite uncomfortable. Not a great place to live. No. You had to hunch a lot. Like it's a big place, but it's made up of lots of small places, if that makes sense. So not great for tall people, unfortunately. So Dawn's favourite colour is green, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she does like nature. I look at her and I'm caught on her jazzy pants and you know, the purple and stuff, but green is actually her favourite colour.
Yeah. The pants and things, again, part of Alex's design. I think when he heard the story about the circus pants, or whatever we called them at the time, it was the pants from her disguise kit. She put them on because she lost her other pants. You'll probably find out why at some point. This is his take on it, is, big fluffy circus pants, let's make them bright pink, and again, love it. Great.
Yeah, they are really beautiful.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So, should we talk a little bit about Gimgar?
Yeah.
And Torlin's relationship with Gimgar.
Yeah.
Like, they're from, relatively close towns, but they didn't actually meet each other until the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah.
And now they have, like, this unspoken thing, right?
Yeah, it's super sweet, and it's something that we kind of only thought about after we kind of got to that point where we were deciding to switch characters, that me and Amy were, like, chatting about it, and we were like, wow, they're super close, and then we were like, there's kind of, like, this just unspoken thing with them, like, because they both lost people at some part of their life, and this was kind of, like, filling that void, was they found each other, and they kind of just fit really well together.
Yeah, I think in that regard, like, Torlin is very good. She's, like, a very good counterbalance to Gimgar, right?
Definitely.
They've got the same sort of, like, energy, right? Like, but Torlin's is much more
mellowed, kind of.
Yeah, like, controlled.
Yeah. Whereas Gimgar is, like, a chaotic thing.
Yeah. Like, Torlin is a beam of light, but Gimgar is an exploding barrel.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. Yeah. It's really quite funny how it all started, because at the start of the campaign, we started it off, we went to this place. I think Torlin saw Gimgar and then was just like, I'm going to sit next to that person. and obviously that was kind of me being like, oh, that's my best friend's character, I'm going to go sit next to her. But in terms of Gimgar and Torlin, it was kind of like, I like that person, I'm going to go sit next to them. And then they just became, like, the bestest friends. They were just inseparable from that moment.
It is, as is Torlin, just the cutest. I just can't handle it. It's just so good.
Yeah, it's she makes me very happy. It's kind of that side of myself that I discovered at uni, where when we all first met, like, I didn't know, I mean, none of us really knew who we were, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I spoke to you guys, you'd be like, oh, you're so happy, you're so peppy, and kind of that was the part of myself that I was like, I want that to be my character, because, like, I love that. I want that to be a thing. You know, this person walks into the room and everyone's like, this is really nice. Like, I wanted to really hone in on that.
Well, just before I close out the video, I'll just say that you 100% achieved that.
No.
Torlin is a little ray of light.
She's
very much like yourself, Jazz.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. If you liked the video, then please leave it a like. You can also subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing. We've got lots of stuff going on over here.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling particularly kind, generous, warm-spirited, then you may head over to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/ShriekingWizard. We're also on all of the your usual social medias.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about Jazz. No,
Torlin. Tell us what you think.
About Torlin. You see, all of these, like, original characters, they're all so very similar to you guys that it's very hard for me.
I'm sorry, we make it so difficult for you. I mean, we get confused too. I call Matt Rook all the time.
I'm so bad at this all of the time. Yeah. I think in all of these speed paints for this, like, for the original party, I have successfully called the player the character and the character the player.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We just accept it now.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.